Hello and welcome to the Stitching Kitchen.
We're going to talk about the relationship between your pattern and your fabric. Every pattern should have been stitched on a fabric by several different fabric manufacturers. You are given that fabric so that you can stitch it and it can look exactly like the little picture on the front. But you don't have to stick with that fabric if you don't want to. There are lots of fabric dyers out there that make beautiful hand-dyed fabrics. So I want to talk to you about size and pattern. We talked about how to measure your fabric so that your design fits on the fabric. Well, I brought some little pieces of fabric to show you, and then I'm going to tell you what these mean. This is an Aida cloth. This is 14 count. That means that there are 14 cross stitches to the running inch. Here's another piece of Aida cloth that's 16 cross stitches to the running inch. And here is another piece of Aida cloth. This is 18 stitches to the running inch. And this is a little piece of what they call hardanger fabric, which you can cross stitch on. You don't have to do just hardanger on it. I just wanted to show you that if you didn't want to stitch over one on 25 count, you can stitch on this 22 count and you'll have a really nice pattern. All right, now let's talk about some linen. Linen is made from the flax plant, all the way back to the Egyptians. How old are the Egyptians? 5,000 years old. They used to take the flax plant that they grew, they would break open the stalk of the flax plant and take out all the stuff inside, which is like lots of threads, and then they would grind it, and then they would turn it and it became thread. They made clothing out of it, they made all kinds of stuff out of it. I'm going to show you only linen today. There are other threads called even weaves. This is a 25 count linen. That means that there are 25 of these threads running horizontally and vertically. That means there's 12.5 cross stitches per the inch. This is a 28 linen. Since we cross stitch over two threads, that means that this is going to be 14 stitches to the running inch. So this is 32 threads to the running inch, and it would be 16 cross stitches to that running inch. And you might be saying to yourself, oh, I don't like that big slub there, and I don't like that little thread there. But trust me, when you're all done stitching your piece, you won't even notice that those slubs and those thin or thick threads are there, because really you have to stitch on all of them. This is called 36 count linen. There are 18 stitches to the running inch. So it's pretty fine. And now, this isn't the smallest. I've heard that they have a 50 count out now, but here is 40 count linen. You really need your magnifiers for this one, folks. A lot of these fabrics that I just showed you come in lots of different colors, and they're really fun to collect. You should always have some basics around, an antique white, a natural, maybe even a lamb's wool, because those, you can stitch just about anything on those colors. The most important thing about the fabric, if you have a pattern that calls for a 28 count, but you want to do it on 32 count because you want it smaller, you have to make sure that your threads are correct, the number of strands you use, and that any accessories that you might use, that they recommend, beads or charms, will look good on that 32 count, or you cannot use it. Your pattern will be distorted. Likewise, if you wanted to stitch on a 32 count linen and make the pattern that calls for 28 count smaller, you have to do the same thing. You just have to make sure that everything is in order. I don't like fabric in plastic bags, but that's how we usually have to bring it home. I have those big fabric cubes that fit in those bookshelves, you know, 3 across, 3 down. And then I have a closet. I'm fortunate enough. I buy pant hangers. I go to the charity shops or whatever, and I try and buy them there, and then I buy cheap pant hangers. And I pin the little tag that tells me what it is, and I hang them in this little closet I have by size and color. I just don't like them in plastic bags because linen and cotton are natural fibers. They will react to the environment, so you don't want them to sweat inside those bags. If you have to keep them in plastic bags, make sure that the plastic bag is open. So what I want you to do is, if you have any questions about any of these fabrics or how to do them, just email me at sharon@brushstreetdesignworks.com, and I'll be glad to answer any of those fabric or counting questions that you have. Join me in the next episode. I'll be here. Why do we choose a pattern? Do we choose it for the subject matter? See, there is a snowman that I